The government of St. Kitts and Nevis disclosed the first deportees from the United States in relation to the Memorandum of Understanding in which St. Kitts and Nevis would accept only CARICOM nationals arrived in the Federation May 19th. According to the agreement, St. Kitts and Nevis will only accept third country deportees who are citizens of member countries of the Caribbean community, with the exception of Haiti and Cuba, a decision that created much controversial discussion, especially on social media platforms earlier in the year. According to the government source, the United States deported 3 individuals who are nationals of Jamaica and Belize. It is understood that the transfer costs were borne by the United States government as agreed to in the MOU and were processed using established immigration and law enforcement protocols of St. Kitts and Nevis. The information released by the government indicates the 3 persons have been granted normal and legal status as would be applied to any other CARICOM national in the Federation. The government source pointed out that the 3 CARICOM nationals are not convicted criminals, but their transfers are related to the violation of U.S. immigration laws, and made it clear the individuals are free at any time to return to their own countries if they choose to do so. Glenn Bart reporting for Television Caribbean, TVC Channel 40.
We turn now to what are escalating tensions between the U.S. and Cuba. The Trump administration issued fresh new sanctions on Cuban officials. In a statement yesterday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the sanctions, quote, restrict the Cuban regime's ability to suppress the will of the Cuban people. Cuba's president has responded, saying no one in Havana's government or military institutions has assets or property protected under U.S. jurisdiction. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez joins us from Miami to discuss this. Christian, good morning. What can you tell us about these new sanctions and who is specifically targeted?
Errol, good morning. Well, what these sanctions do is essentially freeze most U.S. assets. This includes any property or any bank accounts that these individuals may have. Now, it's unclear if any of these individuals have any U.S. assets, but the point is the message. This is another way for the U.S. to pressure the regime at what is considered one of the weakest points that they've been at. Among the top Cuban officials that have been hit by the new sanctions, you have the President of the National Assembly, the Ministers of Communications and Justice, several people that are working for the armed forces, including the Deputy Minister of Defense and 3 generals and the Director of Intelligence. Now, the State Department in a statement said that the United States will continue to take action to counter the Cuban regime.
And Christian, we're also hearing that the U.S. could bring charges against Raul Castro. What's the reaction to that? What are you hearing from people?
Right, Chanel. Officials telling CBS News that the U.S. is planning to indict the 94-year-old former leader Raul Castro, the brother of Fidel Castro. All of this is over the shoot-down of humanitarian planes by a Miami organization in 1996. 3 U.S. citizens and 1 U.S. resident working for Brothers to the Rescue were killed by the regime. Brothers to the Rescue is an organization that they had a fleet of about 10 planes. They would go out and look for Cubans who may be in distress out in the ocean and help them as they made their journey from Cuba to South Florida. They also participated in other pro-democracy events, such as dropping leaflets over parts of Cuba. I spoke to Jose Basulto, the president and founder of Brothers to the Rescue. Now, during that 1996 incident, 2 planes were shot down. He was on a 3rd plane. Let's take a listen.
At one point, I saw to the right of my plane a big black cloud, meaning that was one of my brothers that has been taken down.
Do you ever think back about that day?
No.
Why not?
Because it's painful.
Do you want Raul Castro to be brought here to Miami to face justice?
I hope he's made to come here to the U.S. to be indicted and receive justice.
The Miami Herald reports that that indictment could be unsealed tomorrow. There is an event being held here tomorrow to honor the 4 families that lost their loved ones in 1996. Now, whether the U.S. would actually bring the 94-year-old former leader is unclear. What is clear is that this could give the U.S. a tremendous advantage and pressure point in order to enact change, regime change on the island.
Yeah, and Raul turning 95 in about 2 weeks. Really interesting interview there from you, Christian. Explain to our viewers why we're seeing this increase in tension now, though.
Well, look, I think the Trump administration has made it clear that when it comes to this hemisphere and this region, according to them, they want allies in the region. Having a regime that is allied with Russia, with China, and with Iran, we are at war with Iran. So having a regime like that just 90 miles off the coast of Florida, the Trump administration says is not in the national interest of the U.S.
All right, Christian Benavides reporting from Miami for us. Thank you.
During Monday's pre-cabinet briefing, Health Minister Moses Jabatis assured that the virus currently poses no threat to the OECS region, but stressed that vigilance remains critical as health officials monitor the situation closely. Authorities say while vaccines exist for previous Ebola strains, none are currently available for the newly identified variant, increasing the importance of prevention and preparedness measures worldwide.
The Bundibugyo virus has a lower fatality, according to the World Health Organization, of about 30%. This, however, does not mean that we should not be vigilant. We also know, based on information from the World Health Organization, that licensed Ebola vaccines and approved therapeutics are available for the disease caused by the Ebola virus. However, for the most recent one, the Bundibugyo virus disease, there is currently no approved vaccine or therapeutic specific to this particular strain.
The minister revealed that St. Lucia has already implemented updated border and security protocols as part of its contingency planning. Testing capabilities and protective equipment are reportedly in place should the need arise. Senior health officials, including the chief medical officer, are also participating in specialized World Health Organization seminars focused on the outbreak and international response strategies.
Upgrade our surveillance and ensure that our protocols are in place. So I wish to indicate to St. Lucians that our ministry will be working with the Caribbean Public Health Agency, with the Pan American Health Organization, and of course with the World Health Organization.
Officials maintain that there is no evidence of international spread at this time and note that the WHO has not classified the outbreak as a pandemic. However, health authorities say continued monitoring and coordinated global action remain essential as the situation develops. For the DBS News World, I am Amanda King.
Mommy, you think I could talk to the therapist you work for?
Say what now?
I feel like you're not the woman I thought you were. Can't you understand that? The way I covered you. The way I believed in you.
Nah, what you been up to?
You mean since getting out of prison?
What kind of doctor are you anyway? What kind of doctor are you anyway?
Coming to Caribbean Cinemas St. Kitts, May 30th and 31st at 7 p.m.
This summer, the Caribbean's premier music experience returns. Welcome to the 28th edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival, featuring the incredible Kilani, Fantasia, Beres Hammond, Luciano, Soca King Marshall Montano, Soca Sensation Voice, and Vaughn. Dancehall giant Movado, Idonia, and the new wave, Valiant. Also featuring Massacre, Cranium, Taurus Riley, Steel Pulse, Dean Fraser and the Black Soil Band, Shanil Mir, Diani, Rodney Tatat, and Zoo. The legendary New Vibes Band International, Brandon and ASAP Band, Shelly and Signal Band, plus Edwin Yearwood and Crossfire, Lucas HE, and Garlic and the Upper Level Band. June 25th to June 27th, Warner Park Cricket Stadium, St. Kitts. Get your tickets now at stkittsmusicfestival.com. The St. Kitts Music Festival, where music meets paradise.
Welcome to Channel Links, your most reliable shipping agent. Shopping online sometimes can be challenging, especially when trying to get the best deals from China. But with Channel Links, they make it easy and simple for you, the shopper. With agents working with them for over 20 years, Channel Links offers the best in supplier screening to ensure background checks are done on online merchants, so you know you're shopping with genuine sellers. They handle freight forwarding. No cargo is too big or small for their shipping services, shipping from their warehouses in China directly to your final destination. And get this, they offer door-to-door and port-to-port services as well. So, whether you are ordering from AliExpress, Alibaba, and other Asian shopping sites to cash in on affordable prices at the best quality, shipping from China to the Caribbean, your best and only option is Channel Links, located in St. Martin, with shipments also to St. Kitts and Nevis. For more information, call or WhatsApp 1721-554-4802, 1721-526-4766, 1721-581-6968, or 1721-580-4834, or email contact_us at channel-lynx.com. Channel Links, your shipping solution.
Lace your sneakers, grab a friend, and get ready for Praise Fest 2026, the Federation's premier gospel concert, in collaboration with St. Kitts Music Festival. Join us on the Antioch Baptist Church grounds as we praise with Tehillah Gospel Band, Unique Touch Christian Center Praise, Brent Hoyt, Positive, and Chevel Franklin. Earthen Vessels will start it off with praise and worship. This all goes down June 21st, 2026, starting at 5:30 p.m. on the Antioch Baptist Church grounds. Secure your tickets at Sister Beverly on 4th Street, Westside Service Center, The Cable, Island Flavors, Charlestown, Nevis, or any member of the Antioch Baptist Church. Or you can go online at www.antiochbaptistskn.org. Islander Water Taxis providing $40 round trip from Nevis to St. Kitts. Be first in line for an unforgettable evening.
Veteran broadcaster and cultural commentator Faye Ellington is raising concerns about explicit lyrics being placed on the popular hill and gully rhythm, warning that the trend risks undermining Jamaica's cultural heritage. Miss Ellington praised the producer Stephen McGregor for reviving the traditional folk-inspired rhythm, but says some artists have used it in ways she describes as disrespectful and overly crass.
And I have no problem with what Stephen did in terms of turning that rhythm to us now in present-day Jamaica. But Lord of mercy, the nastiness that some of the people who decide to put lyrics on it have done. Yes, the desecration bothers me, because if you don't understand your history, then you will understand where you're coming from. And when you look at what Stephen McGregor has done, the genius, that's brilliance. To have taken our folk music and repositioned it, but you gone on it with your nastiness. Dance, you dance. once.
She says Jamaican folk music carries deep historical and cultural meaning, arguing that many young people have failed to connect with the roots of the music they consume.
How many of our young people visit the Institute of Jamaica? How many of our young people go to see the Jamaican folk singers when they perform, or the Carry folk singers, or the Hatfield singers? And nobody tell me say that nobody not. It's out there. You just have not made yourself available to find it and associate with it. And you have recordings of these things. Some of them up on YouTube too, and Uncle Nasness, they're all over a place. So find them. When you speak about women in a particular way, and that's the only way you can address the woman and her womanhood, you know that's something wrong with you and something wrong with that woman to accept it. And I know that a lot of women accept that kind of treatment. They are the ones railing in at the dance hall.
She's also calling on artists, politicians, corporate Jamaica, churches, and educators to play a greater role in promoting positive cultural values.
We all have to ask ourselves, what is the Jamaica that we want? What do we want it to represent? Is it just gun lyrics? Is it just under woman's skirt lyrics? Is it just gutter lyrics? And nobody tell me say it sell. Nobody tell me that. And both I saw the thing set. Then we just go set so till thy kingdom come.
Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Speaking on the sidelines of the Caribbean tourism marketplace in Antigua, Thanovnik Destang said the region's high vulnerability to hurricanes and other climate shocks makes the shift to clean energy more urgent than ever.
We have abundant sunshine in the Caribbean, and here we are worried about what's happening a world away with regards to oil prices when we've got all the sunshine in the world and can generate our own energy far cheaper. In the Caribbean, less than 5% of our energy right now in the tourism sector is fueled by solar and alternative energy, and that's a problem. That does not make sense economically. It does not make sense from an environmental standpoint, and we've produced several papers. We've done our advocacy at CHTA, and we're going to continue to do so.
Destang, who is president of the Hotels Tourism Association in the Caribbean, pointed to the impact of Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica, noting that about 20% of affected hotel rooms remain out of service, with some not expected to return until 2027. He says this shows the costs of delaying action, warning that continued reliance on imported fossil fuels not only drives up energy costs, but leaves the tourism sector increasingly exposed during crisis.
Our Caribbean Alliance for Sustainable Tourism is very focused on climate change, particularly a heavy focus on renewable, on the circular economy. We've recently received a grant for that, and we'll be doing some work to showcase the potential of the circular economy, and also on alternative energy, right? Making ourselves more resilient, not just in case of a hurricane, but also reducing our carbon footprint.
Destang is now urging governments to update regulations to make it easier for hotels and tourism operators to generate and use their own solar power, including greater flexibility for self-generation and stronger integration with national grids.
We need our governments to play a role in making the legislations in their various destinations more amenable to people who want to self-generate and to be able to generate their own solar power. We understand, of course, the utilities are there. A lot of them are very reliable and are needed. They're important, but so are we in the long term. So it's to find that right balance and to allow that hotel sector to flourish and to be a lot less reliant on the grid, so to speak, and much more importantly, less reliant on diesel and fossil fuel energy.
He says the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association has already produced several policy papers and is working with national hotel and tourism associations across the region to push for legislative reforms that better support alternative energy generation. Elisha George, for ABS News.
The Prime Minister's office announced that the Wales Gas LNG project is advancing due to resolve contractual issues with Linseca Ghana Incorporated. This includes a January 2025 decision by the Dispute Avoidance Adjudication Board on soil stabilization and delay provisions, eliminating the need for arbitration. Both parties have agreed to forego historical liquidated damages, capped at 10% of the contract price, to expedite project delivery, the statement informed. The overall economics of the gas LNG project remains firmly on track. The recent settlement indicates a 12.8% increase over the original contract sum of $759 million. Yet the government's total expenditure for the wider project, including the 300-megawatt power plant, the natural gas liquids facility, transmission works, substations, and the new National Control Center, known as NCC, remains within a 10% contingency of its $1 billion budget. A Partnership for National Unity APN News Ganesh Mahipal, at his party's weekly media briefing, criticized the office of the Prime Minister for the significant delays associated with the project.
The amount of time they have spoken to that project and made promises to the Guyanese people. We were supposed to get a reduction in our electricity cost by mid-2025, if one remember clearly. And we were waiting for that.
The Member of Parliament and spokesperson on local government and regional development argued that citizens continue to hear promises with no signs of delivery. He advocated for the release of the documents pertaining to the scope of the Wales Gas Energy Project, most importantly, its investment plan.
Now we're hearing late 2026. I think the PM should shut up. Honestly, the PM should shut up. And what he should do is focus on the completion, the investment plan. We have been asking them to release those documents. Why are you spending taxpayers' money and you're doing and going into contracts with secrecy?
The GTE plant, Cape Hills Transmission Substation Project, and the NCC at Good for Walking were budgeted at $1 billion, with total costs not expected to exceed $1.1 billion, including contingencies. This budget is expected to reduce consumer electricity tariffs by 50%, benefiting households and businesses in Guyana. Significant on-site progress is being made, with the first power turbine expected online by late 2026 and all gas turbines by early 2027. According to the statement, the government can impose liquidated damages for missed milestones, ensuring effective project management and resource allocation. Antonio De reporting for the AGP Nightly News.
Mommy, you think I could talk to the therapist you work for?
Say what now?
I feel like you're not the woman I thought you were. Can't you understand that? The way I covered you. The way I believed in you.
Nah, what you been up to?
You mean since getting out of prison?
What kind of doctor are you anyway? What kind of doctor are you anyway?
Coming to Caribbean Cinemas St. Kitts, May 30th and 31st at 7 p.m.
Premier music experience returns. Welcome to the 28th edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival, featuring the incredible Kilani, Fantasia, Beres Hammond, Luciano, Soca King Marshall Montano, Soca Sensation Voice, and Vaughn. Dancehall giant Movado, Idonia, and the new wave, Valiant. Also featuring Massacre, Cranium, Taurus Riley, Steel Pulse, Dean Fraser and the Black Soil Band, Shanil Mir, Diani, Rodney Tatat, and Zoo. The legendary New Vibes Band International, Brandon and ASAP Band, Shelly and Signal Band, plus Edwin Yearwood and Crossfire, Lucas HE, and Garlic and the Upper Level Band. June 25th to June 27th, Warner Park Cricket Stadium, St. Kitts. Get your tickets now at stkitsmusicfestival.com. The St. Kitts Music Festival, where music meets paradise.
Welcome to Channel Links, your most reliable shipping agent. Shopping online sometimes can be challenging, especially when trying to get the best deals from China. But with Channel Links, they make it easy and simple for you, the shopper. With agents working with them for over 20 years, Channel Links offers the best in supplier screening to ensure background checks are done on online merchants, so you know you're shopping with genuine sellers. They handle freight forwarding. No cargo is too big or small for their shipping services, shipping from their warehouses in China directly to your final destination. And get this, they offer door-to-door and port-to-port services as well. So, whether you are ordering from AliExpress, Alibaba, and other Asian shopping sites to cash in on affordable prices at the best quality, shipping from China to the Caribbean, your best and only option is Channel Links, located in St. Martin, with shipments also to St. Kitts and Nevis. For more information, call or WhatsApp 1721-554-4802, 1721-526-4766, 1721-581-6968, or 1721-580-4834. Or email contact_us at channel-lynx.com. Channel Links, your shipping solution.
Lace your sneakers, grab a friend, and get ready for Praise Fest 2026, the Federation's premier gospel concert, in collaboration with St. Kitts Music Festival. Join us on the Antioch Baptist Church grounds as we praise with Tehillah Gospel Band, Unique Touch Christian Center Praise, Brent Hoyt, Positive, and Chevel Franklin. Earthen Vessels will start it off with praise and worship. This all goes down June 21st, 2026, starting at 5:30 p.m. on the Antioch Baptist Church grounds. Secure your tickets at Sister Beverly on 4th Street, Westside Service Center, The Cable, Island Flavors, Charlestown, Nevis, or any member of the Antioch Baptist Church. Or you can go online at www.antiochbaptistskn.org. Islander Water Taxis providing $40 round trip from Nevis to St. Kitts. Be first in line for an unforgettable evening.
Well, thanks, Desmond. Now, the goal was to win. Instead, history repeated itself, and the Free National Movement again suffered a crushing defeat at the poll. Exactly 1 week later, buoyed by the full support of his party, the leader of His Majesty's loyal opposition today received his instrument of appointment, vowing transparency and accountability. LaDon Davis has the story.
Mr. Pintard, who secured a comfortable victory in the Marcos City constituency during the May 12 general election, said while his party sought a different role, the people of the Bahamas have assigned them to the opposition benches. He noted that in a democracy, it is the people who ultimately decide the direction of the country, adding that the FNM respects the outcome of the election and the will of the Bahamian people.
I pledge to honor their trust and uphold the Constitution of the Bahamas as the leader of the opposition. I also pledge to the Bahamian people to be robust and steadfast in my constitutional responsibilities. We will do our job, opposing when necessary and supporting when appropriate.
After a stunning defeat at the polls, Pintard renewed his party's commitment to keeping the government accountable.
We will be diligent and forceful in insisting on the practice of good governance, which includes the two most critical tenets, transparency and accountability by the government. Beyond transparency and accountability, we will press forcefully for fairness, honesty, integrity, fiscal responsibility, and economic justice in the use of public resources.
The opposition leader says far too many Bahamians have become disconnected from the political process and increasingly skeptical of their leaders.
I'm confident that our 8 members, James Leo Ferguson, Lincoln Deal II, Fraser Gibson, Dr. Andre Rollins, Michaela Barnett Ellis, Adrian White, and James Kwesi Thompson, I'm confident, will all make the Bahamian people proud through their professionalism.
Mr. Pintard said despite political differences, the country's future must remain the priority, urging Bahamians to move forward together in the interest of national development and the well-being of its people. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm LaDawn Davis.
As the University of the West Indies marks 70 years of service to the Caribbean, its leadership says the institution now stands at a defining moment. Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Dr. Doddridge Miller, says while the university has helped shape generations of Caribbean professionals, the focus must now shift towards survival and transformation in a competitive global landscape.
For nearly 8 decades, the University of the West Indies has been one of the most transformative institutions in the history of the Caribbean. Few entities have shaped our societies, our leadership, and our intellectual life as profoundly as this regional university. Across the world, in diplomacy, multilateral institutions, regional governments, the private sector, civil society, and the entrepreneurial space, you will find UWI graduates carrying the Caribbean story with confidence and distinction.
Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, says the university's transformation has been seen by many who are now emulating what they have done.
And I can tell you, after 50 years in university life, most universities in the world have flattened out. Most are struggling for a vision. Most universities are now looking feverishly for a future. But UWI stands out as the model of how a university should go into the future. And he feels that energy coming from UWI into the world, changing it. And other universities are emulating what it is that we have done.
However, even as the university continues to grow, Sir Hilary admits it is facing financial pressure, doing more with less while continuing to grow.
The contributions of the public sector, our governments, to our operational budget has fallen from 68% to 48%. What does that tell you? That we have had to do more with less. And colleagues, we were faced in the year in review as we were faced in the previous year in review. We do not allow our university to shrink down to fit our pocket. We don't do that. We could comfortably manage this university with 20,000 students. Balanced budget, surpluses on our balance sheet, all of that we could do with 20,000 with the money that is available to us. But that would help us as an institution. But how would that help the region? How would that help the people?
Leaders say the next phase will require innovation, partnerships, and bold decision-making as the university works to remain the Caribbean's intellectual engine for decades to come. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Dr. Kai Anskeet, Trade Research Fellow at the University of the West Indies, UWI Cape Hill campus in Barbados, addressed tensions surrounding the reappointment of Dr. Carla Barnett as CARICOM's Secretary General. She emphasized the contradiction of balancing national sovereignty with regional integration. At Thursday's Center for International and Border Studies conference, the academic noted that despite Barnett's strong support, dissenting voices questioned the focus on procedural rules over regional integration goals.
She used to work in CARICOM Secretariat, but she also was the vice president of the Barbados Based Caribbean Development Bank. So she understood the tensions coming from a regional institution. We need a region where we can lead, and we lead based on principles and visions and plans for this space.
The situation underscores a key issue. If internal conflicts persist, can regional institutions effectively unify the Caribbean? Dr. C questioned. She advocated for leadership that promotes shared values and practical strategies.
I argue regional integration has to come first. Can you do the job of connecting this region, deepening regional integration, as well as advancing our goals? If not, give somebody else.
She discussed Caribbean governance, noting that lack of consensus prevents true integration. Furthermore, Dr. David Hines, in an interview with Nightly News, stated that contentions over Dr. Barnett's roles weakens regional reflexes.
Trinidad is raising an issue of transparency. Right? Okay. Get down and do reforms. Yes, you may have a valid point of transparency, but don't make it about Dr. Barnett.
The political scientists criticized some regional leaders for personalizing the issue instead of addressing it systemically.
You do not abuse people who could have gone anywhere in the world and serve, but decide to serve this region.
Anthony Day reporting for the AGP Nightly News.
The St. Kitts and Nevis Under-23 3x3 basketball team returned to the Federation on Monday, May 18th, following their triumph at the Association of National Olympic Committee of the OACS Under-23 3x3 basketball tournament held in the British Virgin Islands last week. 3 of the 4 players that participated, Makari Gums, Davik Osborne, and Nigel Challenger, returned on Monday, with the other player and coach due to arrive on Tuesday. They were greeted by President of the St. Kitts Nevis Amateur Basketball Association, President Glenn Jeffers. He addressed the media on the significance of this success to the development of 3x3 basketball in St. Kitts and Nevis.
The 3x3 version, most people don't know of it, is a shorter version of basketball where 4 players compete against another 4 instead of the traditional 5-on-5 basketball, which have a wider number of players on the team, up to 12. But the 3x3 game is something we've been introducing since 2022. And to see these young men who have, you could say, the trailblazers in this game, to take part in the OACS competition and to win that competition tells you that the talent we have in St. Kitts and Nevis. We have great talent in basketball, whichever version of the game. But the 3x3 game and their accomplishment, we now put a spotlight on the 3x3 basketball in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Speaking on behalf of the players, Makari Gums spoke about the experience in Tortola and what this will do for basketball in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Well, I will say it will make more youngsters to come out and participate so we can have more talented youngsters in the game of 3x3 and go out so we can participate in more than one tournament at one time.
Meanwhile, Mr. Lestin Wilshire accompanied the team as a referee to attend the FIBA 3x3 Certified Referees course held from Thursday, the 14th of May, to Friday, the 15th. He shared his experience.
Even though it was for only five days, I took in the knowledge and I pray that I can bring it back to St. Kitts and try to develop, because to be honest, I'm the only youngest, well, you could say the youngest referee in St. Kitts who want to actually be a referee, because I feel in all about basketball, referee can take you as well to places that you wish that you could ever be. So I just don't want to just play basketball, even though I do actively play basketball. But I want to thank Glenn and the NOC for giving me the opportunity to travel and represent St. Kitts to the highest of my ability.
The delegation was led by team manager and coach Sheldon Shiverton Blake, and the other player missing from Monday's arrival was Tivadi Herbert. Mr. Jeffers said St. Kitts and Nevis will continue to develop its 3x3 basketball program.